we should start the session. Uh, just Yes, let's begin. So, just before I start the session, I really genuinely want to thank Pampers India, I Smile, PG Suraksha, and Toying. They're doing brilliant work, keeping people together, keeping them occupied, making sure that they're doing something creative, and which is a big deal. Getting people together. So, I think you guys are doing a great job, and thank you for having me here. And I'll try my best to help you all out with whatever knowledge I have. Hi Ashish, thank you for joining in. Okay, you have chili seeds, so you can view the previous video. We've worked on how you can plant those. Hi Samiksha. And for those of y'all who have just joined in, I'll give you my introduction. This is Mansi here, Mansi Shah. Great. So, and our venture's name is Gift Green India. You can check it on Instagram and Facebook. And if you have any doubts, you can either get in touch with IG Connect with Fatima Sanika when you send pictures, or you can ask on the chat itself. So let's start. So when we grow a plant, okay, we want to make sure that it's healthy, right? It's giving us like fruits, vegetables. The soil is really rich and it's maintaining its health. So how do we do that? The first thing that we have to make sure is aeration. What is aeration? Aeration is a very basic concept. For example, if you put me in a very closed, packed place, I will not like it. The place will be too compact for me to breathe. I won't be able to absorb whatever comes towards me. So imagine the same thing for your plants and the roots. So aeration is something which your soil needs time and again. Now, when do you do it? I will tell you all that. I will show you all, so you all don't have questions about that. Hi, Payal. So we've started the session. So come, let's get on to it. Now here, hi Tara. So here this is a chili plant. Now you all can see that the top layer of the soil is really hard. When I press it, and there are cracks too in the soil. Can you all see a crack here? Yes. So that's a crack. So this happens when the soil becomes really hard, and when this happens, the soil stops taking in the roots stop taking in nutrition. So even when you're watering the plant, okay, the water just comes out. The roots do not absorb it. Okay, so normally compacted soil is not a very good ideal soil for your plant. So what you can do is you aeration is a very simple method. Okay, what like so I you can use this. It's a gardening tool if you have this, or if you don't, you can use a fork. That's okay. I'm going to be using this from my kitchen. How are you going to do this? I hope everybody can see the pot clearly. Yes. So I'm going to be making a hole and moving it in rotations. Okay. Do not do it too close to the roots. Okay. If you're a beginner, please leave this part alone. Okay. Because you might damage it. So this is basically on how you learn out of experience. So now for all the beginners here, this is how. Okay. So you make little holes and see, now the soil is really tight and hard here. So we need to loosen it. So you might end up damaging the roots if you go too close to the roots. Okay. So here. Now I'm going to put in some soil on top and move it. I hope everybody can see. Okay, if your soil is soft, Ashish, that's a good thing. But this can happen anytime, so this is something you need to keep checking on your plants. Yes. Now you all can see the soil is really, I've softened it. I've broken the top layer. So it's now soft. Yes. Now, when do you do this? Make sure that you're doing the aeration part before you water the plant. now you all will ask me why before that. So when you water it, the water can go to the roots, right? And the roots can then convert the carbon dioxide into oxygen. So you want to make sure that the plant is getting enough water. So now I've done the aeration part. Okay, now I'm going to water. Now, so now when I'm watering the plant, you can use a mug, you can use a glass. I'm using a spray bottle right now because I have that. Okay, there is no hard and fast rule. Yes. So now you can, this is one thing that you'll have to observe in most of your plants, okay, to check if the soil is not very hard. And also in the last session, we worked on how to check if your soil is moist or dry. We've used the finger method. Aeration is basically the part where you make sure that the roots are getting enough water and the soil is not very compact. We do not want compacted soil. So that's what we are showing right now. So now I'll just repeat the finger method once again. Here. Now that I've just watered the plant, so you all can see the soil is on my finger. So I think this is good enough. So now once aeration is done, what do we do to protect the plants, from excessive, heat, from drying up? It has to retain moisture. So we're going to be working on mulching now. What is mulching? Basically, mulching is something which you cover the soil with that material. It can be organic or inorganic. Okay, we are going to be working with organic mulching. Sorry. So basically, if you don't mulch the soil, can you see this plant? So there's a lot of grass and some weed grown on it. Yes. So mulching will prevent all of this. Okay, it will prevent from weeds growing into the soil. It will retain the soil moisture. It will also protect your roots. And sometimes when we mulch the soil, it also repels some pests. So the organic mulchers that we are going to be using is going to be hay. Okay, so it's the mango season, and I'm sure most of us have hay at home. Okay, now, if you're eating corn, that's the corn husk. Yes, that's corn husk. Yes, Vidisha, you'll be able to see me in some time once I finish the demonstration. Yes, and these are the dried leaves. Yes. So now, can you, if you all can hear, the corn husk is really dry. Yeah, you can leave it out in the sun to dry it. Okay. So we ate the corn and we've kept the husk for mulching. Now, how are you going to be mulching the soil? I'm going to be showing you all an example with hay. Okay. Also, when you mulch the soil, when you're using organic mulching, the good part is that they slowly start decomposing and add as a fertilizer to the soil. Yes, you can see the wheat. I'm sorry, I'm not getting you. Yeah, so now I'm going to be showing first. Okay, so I'm going to be aerating this soil also. Okay, I hope you all can clearly see what I'm doing. Okay, please do not go too close to the roots if you are a beginner. Okay, as and when with experience you learn how to handle your plant. Each plant responds differently, so do not compare your plants with anybody else. They're yours, so they'll work best on how you treat them. Yes, so make sure you take good care of them. Now I'm going to be placing this on the top layer of the soil. Why are we doing this? Once again, is to retain the moisture in the soil. Okay, making sure it doesn't get too dry under the harsh sun. Okay, now that the summers are really on top of us. Yes. Okay. Now that's a good enough layer. Yes. I also have some cardboard here. Okay. So the husk might just fly off, if it's windy. So what I can do is I can put some cardboard pieces and some soil on top. So I'm going to be cutting the cardboard. Yes, I didn't get it from anywhere. We had ordered mango, so it came in the box. So I'm going to make full use of the things I have at home. Going to reduce my waste from going to the landfills. I think we all must do that. Yes. You can put bigger pieces. I'm going to be putting smaller pieces. You can do it as per your convenience. Okay. And I'm going to be putting some soil on top of this. So with the weight and the moisture, the husk doesn't fly off. And as and when it starts degrading, it will add a good amount of carbon and nitrogen to my soil. Yes. I hope you all can see what I just demonstrated. Yes. Mr. Ashish, we've already done a session on how to grow your plants in the previous one. This is on how to take care of your plants. The same with the coconut, with the corn husks. So every time you eat something, and if you think that the outer layer or the covering should be saved, please do not throw it away. Save it. You can always reuse and reduce waste. So I'm making pieces like these. Yes. Okay. And I'm going to be using this too to mulch the soil of another plant. So I just watered this plant. So it's a good time. So when I do this, there won't be any excessive weed growing. Okay, even pests will stay away. Yes. Oh, hi Sharmila. You can't hear me? Okay, am I audible now? Yes, please let me know if I'm audible or no. Yes. If it's okay if you don't have cardboard at home, that is why we've kept kept options of the things that you have at home. Okay, so if you have hay, it's okay. If you've ordered mangoes and if you have a lot of hay, please use it for most of your plants. If you've eaten corn and if you have this husk, if nothing at all, if you have nothing at uh, all, I'm sure, if you ever step out, you'll see dry leaves. Yes, so we have a lot of dry leaves here. Yes. So these are dry leaves. You can put them on the top layer of the soil and cover it with a very thin layer so they don't fly off. Hi Deepthi. Again, the spoon is in a pot is just a naming tag. So we just reuse old spoons. Yes, old spoons, forks, and all. Like, can you see? We've named. Yes, we've named plants. We just use it as name tags. Yes, I hope your doubt is clear. Yes, thank you. Okay. Now, one more use there was somebody asking me that I don't have extra soil in my house. So what you can do is, you can put a layer. So if you all can see, I've put a stone at the end of the pot to cover the drainage hole. So if you have extra dry leaves, you can make a layer of dry leaves. They're really dry. You can hear them cracking. Yes. Okay. So for all those people who don't have extra soil and want to, do this, this is a good thing. You can put an entire layer of hay. Yes. Now can you all see? And yes. So as and when, the soil, this starts decomposing, your soil will get richer. You will also get good fertilizer. It works as a slow fertilizer. Okay. And it also saves a lot of soil. You don't have to fill the entire pot with soil. You can add more. There is no fixed ratio of how much you have to add. Okay, so I can fill half the pot also with dry leaves and hay. It's okay. Now, one more thing I'm going to add and tell y'all. I don't know if most of y'all know this, but I'm going to be using coconut husk also. So in the last session, I told you all about how you can make planters and bird feeders out of coconut shells. Yes, but there is one more very good use of coconut husk. Yeah, I hope it's visible for everybody. Yes. So can you see the part of the husk? Yes. So you peel that part out. Okay. You can use this as a base of your again to cover the drainage holes. Don't waste anything that you have. Make best use of everything. Okay, I'll repeat that again and again. So we start at some point. Now if you'll see, there's a lot of coconut husk here. There's husk here also. So I have you know plucked some out to show y'all. So that is coconut husk right here. Yes, what you have to do is separate it. Okay, you'll get these fibers. So what I'm trying to tell y'all is I'm going to be using these fibers to add in my soil. Okay, it will automatically make the soil more porous. Okay, and absorb water. Yes, and it will make sure that that your soil doesn't become compact. That the problem that we faced in the first pot with the hard soil. Okay, you don't have coconut, that's okay. That is why we have a range of options here. Okay, coconut husk also retains water. Yeah, so you'll make sure that your soil is moist enough. Okay, now I've added dry leaves, I've added hay, and I've added some soil. Okay, now I'm gonna add. Yeah, and I'm gonna mix it. It's okay. Please dirty your hands. That's what gardening is all about. Okay. You'll automatically, when you're doing this, you'll feel your soil has become more light. It's not heavy. I can add bigger fibers also. If you, yes, and I'm going to be adding some more soil. You can also, okay, so for all those people who don't have coconuts, don't have corn husk, it's okay. You can also use pista shells if you have at home. You can also use grass clippings, you know, and cover your top layer of soil with it, and also flower petals. So there are a lot of people who do puja and get a lot of flowers, and if you're not into composting yet, and you're still a learner about how to grow plants, then please use those flower petals as mulching. Okay, for mulching. And cardboard, I'm sure most of us have cardboards. There's always couriers coming in, going out, or you can borrow from somebody. Yes, it's okay, Pradeep. If you don't have coconut, we have a lot of other options, like I mentioned. So you can use any of the above options. Yes. Okay. Now we also used coconut husk as an aerator. That will help the soil make it. That will help the soil, be light and moist. Okay, now we are done with aeration. Now we are done with mulching. Okay, now we'll be going to the step of pruning. Basically, what is pruning? So, like we all need, like time and again, haircuts for humans, correct? So they say the more you cut your hair, the growth is better. The same is with plants. Okay, so pruning is basically cutting out like dry ends and making sure the plant grows bushier. Okay, there are different kinds of pruning. I'm going to teach you the very basic one. Okay, once we learn the basics, we can go ahead. Okay, once you take interest and learn, then we can go ahead with that. Okay, So I'm going to be pruning two plants for you here. Okay. Yes. So in this one, okay, uh, this was, let me just drop this off so you can see clearly. Okay, so these are grass clippings. You can use it to mulch your soil like in this one. Okay. I hope I'm audible. Or somebody was saying I'm not audible. Yes. So now here. Now the where I'm pointing out my finger, okay, that's the main stem, and there these branches, okay, going out. Now this bud that you see here, which has a lot of leaves, that looks like a very promising bud, okay. And why are we pruning this? This is a tulsi plant. Most of our households have it. So normally we prune so all the energy doesn't go into making seeds. Okay, we don't want all the energy into making the seeds of the plant. Okay, we want like nice bushier leaves. Okay, we want good foliage also. Yes. So yeah, I'm going to be pruning the part of, and as you can see here, there is a dry stem here. Yes. So sometimes the plant, is not distributing the nutrition all over. So you get dry stems like this. Don't worry. So we are going to be cutting it from here, very close to the main stem. Hi Abhishek, thank you for joining in. So I'm going to be cutting it in slant. You can see how my scissor is placed. Yes. That's the dry. I hope you all can see. Yes. That's the dry stem which I'm cutting out. There is one more dry stem here. You do not see any green growth here. Yes. But on the other part of the plant, there is good growth. So why not help this part, grow bushier and more lush? So I'm going to be. Okay. So here, I've pruned two parts. Yeah, you can see, right? The fresh, yes, that's a slanting cut. Okay. Now, the reason for making the cut slant is, anytime you water the plant, it will slide off. Okay, you do not want the plant, the water to retain moisture there. It can cause rotting, and we want the plant to heal. So there are different kinds of cuts. Okay, but for this one, we're going to be doing slanting cuts. I hope you all are following me. Yes, and if you want, you can cover this top layer with turmeric. Haldi, we all have haldi in our house. Okay. It works as an antiseptic. So this is like a wound for the plant. So this will work as an antiseptic. Also, I'm going to be pruning this part, okay, where because here I see there's a bushy new bunch growing. So why not help the plant grow from here? I already have this healthy stem here. Thank you, Arsh. So here, I'm going to be pruning it from here part because I see leaves here. Okay, so you normally prune it almost half an inch above the node. Don't worry, don't feel bad. It's okay, the plant will grow bushier. Okay, and what you can what you can do with this is, for the people who missed out on the last session, you can put this stem to water for rooting. Okay, so cut the cut the extras. Okay, you do not need those. Let's cut the extras. Okay, now that's the stem that you have. Okay, you're going to be putting it in water. Okay, I'm repeating this because you can do this and it will work really well. You don't have to throw out the stem, and I'll show you how the rooting happens. Yes. Can you see the roots? I think it's quite visible. This background, yes. So that's how the rooting will appear. And then you can have a brand new plant. You can also gift it to somebody. If you have too many at home. Now if you have a lot of seeds growing, so basically sometimes we see the growth is a lot, like, the stem is just growing and there is the greens on top. Now I hope this is visible. Yes, now can you all see a lot of seeds are here? Correct. So I'm going to be making sure that I cut the seeds and also prune it from the base. This is a basil plant. Okay. So I'm going to be here. That's the seeds. Please save the seeds. Okay. Share it with your friends. You can use it to, you know, grow new plants. Also to make seed bombs. Do not let the seeds just go waste. Yes. Okay. Now, as you can see, there is a dry stem here. Yes. Thank you, Vidisha. Yes, that's good growth there. I'm going to be cutting this here. Okay. So, now there's growth here on the base of, yeah. Okay. So, it's going to help my, plant grow from this stem. Okay. So, the bushier you want a plant, you keep chopping it from the top. Okay. Every plant works differently. Okay. So, just because I'm showing you this on a basil plant doesn't mean you apply this on all plants. The plants that you have at home, okay, learn about them. There's a lot of information all around the world. Okay. Learn about them and only do the pruning that way. Pruning, so there are two types of pruning: soft pruning and hard pruning. Okay. Hard pruning is usually in the end of the year. Okay. And soft pruning is which you can do throughout the year. Now, most of us have rose plants. So you can do pruning on rose plants. You can do tulsi, chili. Most of these plants you can prune throughout the year. Okay. And make sure, please, this is really, really important. Do not prune the plants when they're about to fruit. Okay, only do it when they're dormant. What does dormant mean? When they're not very active. Okay, they're slightly inactive, they're not giving out new fruits. Okay, please do not chop off your lovely plant when it's about to give out fruits. Don't do that. Yes. Okay, now also, one more thing about pruning is that winter and early spring is a good time. Okay, this might not be the best time, and if you're doing it for your regular plants like roses, hibiscus, basil, tulsi, then do it early in the morning. Do not do it when the sun is too harsh. Now, moving on to the next topic is transplanting. What? Okay, so everybody, hi again. Asking me what this spoon is, it's just a name tag for the plant. Okay, so I don't get confused when I've put seeds in. Sometimes you put seeds in many pots and then you don't know which is what. So, this is the naming ceremony for them. I hope your doubts are cleared. Yes. Okay. Now, what is transplanting? Transplanting is nothing but repotting or replanting. Okay. So, you mostly do not do this with all plants. For example, these are chili saplings. Okay. I hope you all can see how small they are. I shouldn't be, troubling them. Yes. So these are very, very small saplings. This is not the stage where you transplant them. Okay. The roots are really weak. Okay. They might not be able to survive a shock. Yes. Plants undergo shock when you transplant them from one pot to another or one location to another. They also feel sad. So I'll just give you a very nice example of yourself. Okay, imagine you as a child. Okay, and you being moved out from your home or school to an entirely new location. Yes, and you, like, obviously you will take time to adjust there. The same is with plants. Okay, we also undergo shock, but we're humans, so we're better to cope with them. Yes. Hi Vanita, I'll just get back to you. Yes. So I'll show you the the right age or the right height to transplant the plant would be almost around 2 to 3 inches. Okay, so you I hope you all can see the length of this plant. Yes, it's not very big. It's not very big. Okay, so this is a good time to transplant your plant, your sapling, from one pot to another. Okay, also do it very carefully. Plants which are very less complicated would be pepper, brinjal, garlic, onions, tomatoes. They are not a trouble while transplanting. Okay, here there's a basil plant transplanted from the method I showed you, which I cut the basil plant. So we've already transplanted this in a pot. Yes, Nidhi, I'm glad you can see. So now I'm going to show you how you can transplant it. Please do not damage the roots. Okay. Okay. So I hope this is visible. Yes. So I'm going to I'm going to loosen the soil. Okay. If you're transplanting from a smaller pot to a bigger pot, please do not let your children do it. Okay, it's because they're new to the technique, and we do not want the roots getting damaged. We've grown them with a lot of love. I'm loosening the soil around the plant, making sure I don't damage the roots. Okay. The soil was loose enough. Yes. Now can you all see the roots and the soil there? I'm glad, Sarah. Please start. Yes. Now the reason why I'm transplanting this is because there's a lot of congestion in one pot. Okay, this pot is not very big, so there are three plants growing in one pot. So I'm going to make sure that they have enough space to grow. They all need their individual space, like just like humans need space. Yes. Okay. So for all those people who were asking me how to plant, now here is a demo I'm going to show you right here. Okay. So 3/4 of the soil has to be filled. Pot has to be filled with soil. Okay. One major problem that we ignore is we do not water the soil or the plant during transplantation. Please do not do that. Okay. What will water do? It will help in reducing the shock to the plant. Yes. And once the shock to the plant is less, it will grow well. It will, get accustomed to the surroundings faster. Hi, Vanita. Yes, we have not showed how to make compost. Yes. So I'm going to be making some space here, not too deep. Do not put the roots too deep inside. Okay. I'm using my fingers. It's okay if you have gardening tools and all, no problem. Use it. I like to do it this way. Okay. I'm going to tap the soil around the roots very carefully. Can you all see? I'm just placing it very carefully. Okay. Now, like I said, water is really important. Okay. So as soon as you transplanted, water the soil. So what will this do? This will help the roots take a proper position in the soil, and also the layer of the soil will settle. So you will know, right, exactly how much more soil do you need in. So I'm going to put some more soil because after watering, the layer has become little less. Okay. This is something I'd like to share with all of y'all, that on a personal level, you can talk to your plants. Okay. For all those people who might think that no, they don't listen, it's okay if they don't listen, but at least they'll be getting some positive vibes. And why not help your plants with some, positive vibes. Yes, and I'm gonna be covering the soil because I've just, transplanted this. I do not want the soil to lose moisture. I want the soil to retain moisture. Okay, I hope you all are following, and understanding what I'm trying to tell you all here. Okay, and please do this very carefully. Okay, do not, treat your plant like it's some metal item. No, it's very tender, very soft, and the roots are much more tender. See, I'm not moving the plant much because I know it's got the place. Now let it settle there. What you can do is, okay, this I do with the old plastic bottles. Okay, hi, yes. Hi, Nishita. I'll just get back to you. Let's just finish the session, then you can ask your question. So I'm going to be covering the plant very carefully. Do not damage this, and I'm going to be covering. Okay. Why I'm doing this is because this is a brand new transplantation. Okay. You do not want, like, if you have squirrels around or rodents around, you don't want them eating it up. Okay. Many times chili plants, capsicum plants are eaten by them. They love it. Okay, and so this is like a big bottle. I've cut it into two parts. Okay, there's another part here, the top part. Okay, which I'm going to use to cover this. So it's okay if you don't have plastic bottles. I'm just trying to share this idea with you all. So if you have, and if you can, reduce on your wastage, you can do this. Thank you, Vidisha. I'm glad you liked the earlier video. Yeah, and press it down a little. So if it's windy, it doesn't fly off, and even the plant is secured, because there's too much wind and your plant must just start, like, just start flying. And also it'll protect it from the harsh sunlight in the early mornings. Tender means very soft, delicate, Ashish, something which is very fragile and can break easily. So the roots are very tender, and also younger saplings are very tender and should be handled with much care. Okay. For people who have tried growing, roots, for example, turmeric, carrots, beet, okay, please do not transplant them. Grow them in a bigger pot from the start itself, because those are roots. If you're going to remove the entire root system, which is their main body, they might get damaged. Okay. So for chilies, tomatoes, if you want, you can write this down. Chili, tomatoes, basil, onions, eggplants, peppers, you can do transplantation, correct? But not for roots, because you might damage the root system. Yes. Now, if you'll want to know when is a good time to do transplantation, it's early in the morning, okay, when the sun is not very harsh, or in the evening. Now, we'll be moving on to, remedies and products that you have at home. Okay, let me just get this cleared so I can explain to you all carefully. Okay. So here is a lot of, here are a few things actually which you have in your kitchen. You don't have to step out of your house to get these. Yes. Okay. So starting with turmeric. Okay. Now we all know that turmeric has antiseptic properties. Okay. We drink turmeric milk. We drink turmeric water. We apply turmeric on wounds. So you can also use this for your plants. Okay. Hi again. So tender, I meant to say that they're very delicate, the roots. So you have to be very careful while transplanting your plant. Do not do it when they are young, okay, and very fragile. Yes, you can transplant lemongrass. Yes, just make sure that you loosen the soil around it and do not shake it too much, because it is, it is prone to breaking from near the bulb. Yes. Okay, so now moving back to turmeric. What you can do is there are two methods. One is turmeric water, and one is just spraying turmeric in the soil. Okay, so if you have ants, like if you have problems of ants near your plants and a lot of red ants, then you can use turmeric. I'll just show you how you can do this. I'm going to show you in this basil plant that we transplanted because it's a young plant and I want to make sure that the ants don't come near it. Okay, so I'm going to make a slight cavity. Yeah. I hope you all can see the cavity. Yes. Transplant means replanting, moving one plant from a pot or a location to another. It's not a very complex term. Okay, I've made an outer ring here of turmeric, and I'm gonna. You all can see. I'm just sprinkling some turmeric. Okay. And you can cover the soil with this. Okay. It's okay, you can do the turmeric thing once a week also, or sometimes if you think that your plant is, um, you know, looking weak or has ants around, what you can also do is add like in a mug of water, add turmeric, add 1 tablespoon of turmeric, okay, and then use this water to water your plants, okay. So either you can use turmeric water or you can use turmeric powder. Yes, Pradeep, what it does, it will keep red ants away from your plants. It also works as an antiseptic, and also if your soil has any kind of bugs or anything, it will keep it away. Okay, you can sprinkle depending on your plant. If your plant is small, then sprinkle accordingly. I just sprinkle 3 to 4 times, and even if you over sprinkle it, do not worry, it's not going to harm your plant. Okay, it's a natural thing. It's not going to harm your plant in any way. And the good part is we're not using any chemicals, we're using what we have in our kitchen. Yes. I hope your doubts are cleared. Yes. Okay. Now moving on to the next one is Epsom salt. You get it anywhere in a kirana store, in a chemist. You can just ask for magnesium sulfate crystals or Epsom salt. They're crystals like this. Okay. Yes. And I'm going to be using baking soda. Baking soda, now that people have a lot of time baking at home, I'm sure you can spare some for your plants also. Now before anybody asks me what Epsom salt and baking soda does, baking soda and Epsom salt will help in flower blooming. It'll help your plants to give out better flowers. It'll also make your foliage very green. It'll help the plants give the bright green color. Okay, and it'll help your plant grow bushier. Yes, and so what I do personally is I just take a spray bottle. Okay. Yeah, and also it enhances the taste and the flavor of your plant. So, for example, if you're growing tomato, okay, tomatoes will grow sweeter and nice. Okay, okay. If you're growing chilies, they will grow bushier and nice and lush. Okay, so I'm gonna. I hope you all can see. Yeah. There is no fixed measurement. If you want to keep a fixed measurement, you can add 1 teaspoon. This is a small bottle. Okay. So I'm going to be and baking soda. Yes. So you all can see I'm adding baking soda also. Okay. I'm going to fill this spray bottle. If you don't have a spray bottle, please don't worry. Okay, don't panic. You can use it in a mug. You can use it in a bucket. You can put it in a glass. Okay, We always didn't have all these things, but it's okay. That shouldn't stop us from growing plants, right? Hi, Darshika. Thank you for joining in. Yes. And if you all have like, old Pepsi, Coke bottles, or if you want to borrow it from someone, you can just put a hole on top and make it into a spray bottle. Yes, because we Indians are good at jugaad, so why not? Okay. So you shake it thoroughly. Make sure the Epsom salt and the baking soda, uh, yes, are thoroughly mixed. Yes. And I'm going to show you all by spraying it on a plant. So you spray it on the leaves, okay, like I showed you all. So that's the, yes, I hope this is visible. Yes. So you, yes, now finally, you spray it on the leaves, okay. You want the plant to grow bushier, yes, and more green. Do this. This is very inexpensive. You don't have to spend a lot of money. Yes, something you have in your own houses, okay. Hi, Sina. Is it blurry now? Is it clear? Yes. Okay. Now moving on to wood ash. Uh, Wood ash is something you can get from if you've attended a Havan puja. Okay. Wood ash, matlab, you can also say rak in our normal tongue. Okay. It's okay, Ashish. If you have only baking soda, you can use baking soda. That's not a problem. You make sure that the wood ash is not of any board or it's of proper wood, like pure wood, correct. And also puja bhasm, you can use that also. Yes. So that's how it looks. Okay, we all know how rak looks, ash. The same way I sprinkle turmeric, you sprinkle wood ash also. Also, you can sprinkle wood ash on roots. Okay, it also works as an and it has an antibacterial property, and also gives your plants good amount of lime and potassium, which you all need, right? So you can use this for your peppers and tomatoes. Yes, thank you, Pradeep. Okay, now the fourth and the fifth thing, that is something which we all love drinking. Okay, some are chai lovers, some are coffee lovers, but we all like something or the other. Yes. Hi, Jenny. You cannot use rock salt. Yes, Vidisha, we'll be having seed bombs today itself in the end of the session. So what I have done is today morning's tea, I've strained it. Okay. I've washed it thoroughly because normally we add sugar in our chai. So you don't want any sugar molecules left over. So you strain it thoroughly under running tap water. Okay. And you can leave it out to dry in the sunny area. So it becomes, nice and dry. And make sure it is not too wet, because many people have this experience that when you use a lot of wet tea leaves, it can cause fungus in the soil. Yes, it happens when you use a lot of wet items in your soil. So make sure it is dry enough. Okay, I hope you all can see. Yeah, I've also, there's some lemongrass also left over, so that will just work as a compost. Yes. And sorry, I don't have coffee, but I'm sure if you all have it, you all can use it too. Okay. So now moving on to just like Vidisha ma'am said, making seed balls. I think this is the time. So if you all have your things ready, I think this is a good time to get it. Uh, Ashish, puja agarbatti ash might not work. Yes, please do not use that because it has a lot of essence, and we want wood ash or even bhasma is okay of any puja. And most of the agarbattis have chemicals nowadays, so you do not want to put those in your plants. Okay. So now can you see, here is uh, so you'll need a strainer. Okay, you'll need some seeds. So for all those people who had doubts about, having seeds at home, it's okay. We had chiku seeds, yes, and tulsi seeds like I cut from our plant right now. Okay, yes. So you need soil. Okay, you need a strainer. Any kind of strainer is okay. You do not particularly need, a specific strainer. Correct. And what I have done is I've strained some part of soil. Okay, you can also add compost if you have, no problem. If you don't have it, don't worry about it. You can make it out of, now you all can see I am sieving the soil. I do not want the big particles to come in, like the stones. Yes, they'll they'll hamper in making the proper shape of the seed bomb. Yes. So, and all the extra things, you do not want those because you want it to be nice and smooth. Yes. So, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be wetting the soil a little. Okay. It's like making dough. Okay. I hope you all can see. I've added some water. Yes. So now I'm going to mix. Uh, the reason why I chose to show you all how to make seed bombs is, this is a good time to plant these bombs or throw these bombs. Okay, you can do it in your building society. Okay, on the boundaries if you have bigger, if a bigger area, or if you ever get placed, in any empty green spaces, you can do that. So, can you all see? Yes, Priyatari, I'll just get back to you. I'll just solve your doubts. Let's just finish the seed bomb first. Yes. And if you have any public garden or ground around you, you can throw these bombs there. Okay. Do not do it in the rainy season because the seeds might get washed out. So just before the rainy season, do it. So when the rains fall, they get, they start sprouting and they get good amount of water. So can you all see? I've made like a round ball. Yes. Now I just make space for the seed here. Yes, I'm going to be putting a chiku seed. Yes, because I want to grow a chiku tree somewhere. Okay. I'm using some more soil. There is no fixed size of how big or small the seed bomb should be. Okay. Just make sure it is not very wet or very dry. If it's very dry, it'll just, fall, just open up, and if it's too wet it might just starts the seed might just start sprouting inside when, after a few days of making it. Okay, so here you go. It's okay if your hands are mucky. That's all to do with soil. Yes, it's fun. It's going to be very therapeutic. Do it, try it. So that's how your seed bomb is. Yes. Okay, so I've already made a seed bomb and it's been drying for 2 to 3 days now. So it's got a good shape. Yes, it won't break easily. You can use any kind of seeds that you have at home. Okay, and now for people who have just started gardening, yes, let me help you all. Okay. I hope you all had a good session. Yes, thank you, Nidhi. I hope it was good. You'll make it right before the rains. Yes, and if you have doubts, you can ask us later. Now, let me tell you all the very basics of something before you start planting. Okay, if you're going to be planting vegetables and fruits, okay, make sure that they get good sunlight. Okay, it needs good amount of sun. Yes, and if you're planting herbs, okay, it needs a little shady area. So do not put it out in the straight sun. Like if it's an east facing window, please do not put it right out there. It can hinder in the growth. Also, if you're growing, herbs, you can grow it in a small pot. That's okay, not a problem. They'll grow well. But if you're growing vegetables and fruits, then make sure that the container is big. Big in the sense above 10 inches. You can use old crates. You can use old mango patties, Bisleri bottles. We have used a 20-liter Bisleri bottle to grow muskmelons. So it grows really well. Yes, and you do not need to have things out of a shop. It's okay if you have an old dabba, like I showed you all. This is an old tin can, so the plants are growing very well in it. It's not a problem. Yes, okay. And if you're growing carrots, radishes, then they need medium sun. Okay, so you have to understand at what time, at what hour your plant needs enough sun, water. Okay, like I said in the previous session, yes, water your plants early in the morning or late in the evening. You do not want to water it when the sun is out there. It'll suck in all the moisture and make your soil dry, and you don't want that, right? Yes. Yes, you can use a steel glass to grow a plant. Why not? Try it, grow it, and share a picture with them. Inspire others. Yes, you can absolutely use a steel glass. You can use aluminum, steel, whatever you feel like using. Yes, but make sure there's a drainage hole in the bottom. Like you said, it's already leaking, so that's fine, right? Yes. Okay, InfoGeeks had a thing. My mom and I spray water on a cactus. A cactus doesn't need a lot of water. Okay, it itself is a desert plant. Yes, so it thrives in less water, more sunlight. If you have a cactus, keep it out in the sun. Yes. How to put tea leaves? Okay, so once you finish drinking your tea, strain the tea. Okay, strain it under running water. Make sure that the extra milk, sugar molecules, everything is washed out. You do not want all that. That will invite pests and fungal growth. Yes, so Priyatari, you can do that, and then leave it out to dry, and then sprinkle it. Yes. Yes, Darshika. Sometimes when I forget to water my plant, I water them at 5:45 p.m. That's absolutely fine. It's in the evening. Yeah, as long as the sun is going and it's not going to suck out all the moisture, that's absolutely fine. Okay, and all those people who have made the seed bombs, please do not forget to take pictures and share it with Fatima or Sanika on iConnect or WhatsApp. I hope you all have the numbers, and they'll feature you all. And why not share this idea with others too? I hope you all enjoyed this session. You're most welcome, and I hope that you all will do this at your house. It's a good time to make use of this. Grow plants. Yes, and thank you, Pampers India. Thank you so much for having me here. So I think we'll be ending the session now. If anybody has any doubts, they can ask me. Yes. And for hashtag Pampers Pastimes, I'm repeating myself. I did that again in the start, so you all don't forget, and you all tag them. Yes. So if I'm sure. Okay. Thank you for staying. I'm glad. Thank you. Have a good day. Stay safe. Sure, we'll clear the doubts in another session. Thank you for staying. Bye bye, everybody.